Ladies and gentlemen, we're here this week with Chris Penney of Private Function.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. How are you feeling today? I saw you guys had quite a party yesterday.
Yeah, it's the end of an era. It's just the house that Anthony and Aiden live at, who are both in Private Function, and we had the house has been going for 18 years. Like Courtney Barnett's played in the backyard, and I think she lived there for a while, and the Drones and a bunch of these really iconic Australian bands. So it was good that we got to just piss on the ashes of a great house by being the last band that played there.
You guys?
Busted my nose and my eye up as well. It's looking pretty funny today. It's pretty rough.
Oh, no. Did you take
Yeah.
a spill?
Yeah, I got on the Hills Hoist, the clothesline, and I was singing, and I think I just fell off it.
You guys have some pretty adventurous live shows, I think is fair to say.
Yeah,
Pretty fearless on stage. What's kind of like the biggest injury you guys have had in a show?
well, it was, I think, the biggest one on because we've been pretty lucky in the sort of the 9 years we've been doing this. We never really, like I've gotten like scars and bits and bobs, but Milla, the bass player, we played for we opened up for Green Day, which is crazy, at Marvel Stadium. It's like a 60,000 person stadium on the last weekend, and she tripped over and broke her, like, is it called an ACL in her knee or whatever? So her knee's all like ripped apart, so she gets surgery. She has to get surgery now. She's on crutches.
Oh, Jesus.
So I think that's worse than Milla's take.
Okay. All right. So that was in the middle of a tour, though, right?
Well,
What do you
yeah,
guys do when that happens?
yeah. Well, it was just two shows with Green Day, so it was just like we played the first one. The second one, luckily, was the one where she stacked it and hurt her knee, and then the third show was cancelled because of a cyclone. I was like, no way. We got stuck in it as well. We got stuck in the cyclone for 6 days. So, because we couldn't get out, there's no airports around at all. So we just stayed in a hotel room for 6 days watching movies. And I was like, I can't fucking watch Predator 2 again. It's the worst one.
So you guys were stuck on the Gold Coast, and Milla had an injury. So she in the?
She had to have her leg up the whole time. So yeah, she's like, we got her some crutches and we got her sort of a bunch of bandages and did it all up. But she's still fucked now. Like it's a month now, and she's got to go into surgery soon and get it all fixed up.
I gotta say, because I'm kind of surprised, because I've seen you guys live before, and it's pretty fucking fearless. Like you doing flips into the crowd and things like that. I would think that there would be at least a few more broken bones in those stories.
Yeah, no, we've been really, really lucky. We're all very malleable people. We're just Play-Doh humans. We can deal with whatever. So yeah.
I think I've heard somewhere that if you get in an accident, it's good if you have had a few beers in you because you're limber. Whereas if you have your wits about you, you could tighten up, and that's when the injury could be worse.
When they say, like with the Titanic, like some of the people that fell into the ocean, they were drunk. What's that saying? Like too drunk to drown. Because like, I don't know how it works. Man.
I've never heard that, but that's a good philosophy.
Yeah.
So you guys have a new album coming out.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about all the other albums, because I'm assuming that, you guys are very, very creative with your records, and a lot of stunts in there, which I do want to cover. But this new record, tell us a little bit about it. What's it called? Is it just...
Well, yeah, actually the album does have a name. It's written on, so I guess the easiest thing about this one, we'll start with the artwork of this one. So basically a friend of mine, because if you don't know, the album is just the shrugging emoji. Right. But there is actually a name of there's a lot of stuff hidden in the album cover. So basically, we asked our friend to design us an album cover, and he does like lots of like really just like hand drawn album covers, and he made a bunch, and we were like, wow, these are all really good. And then I was like, how many album covers can you do? And he was like, okay, cool. And then he came back to me a few weeks later, and he's like, yeah, I've got your 2,590 album covers to choose from. I was like, what? So I was like, fuck it, let's just put them all on. So the album cover is the world's first, I guess we're going to call it the world's first microscopic album cover. Oh, check this out.
All right. Having a look-see here.
We put all of his 2,590 album covers onto the album cover. And then every copy comes with a magnifying glass. So there's a little Private Function magnifying glass, so you can look through every single album cover. And we've hidden a bunch of stuff on the cover as well. So there's a lot of stuff hidden on there. So there's maybe the name of the album. There's competitions. There's a bunch of stuff. But yeah, every copy comes with a magnifying glass.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. So There is a name of the album,
Yeah.
but it's hidden somewhere on the cover. Do you know how is it going to be revealed?
I don't know. Whoever finds it, maybe someone never will.
And how, if someone feels they have a guess about what that album cover is, what do they do?
Yeah, I'm right into the fan club.
Okay. All right. Well, they comment, they post, they do something, they somehow get a hold of you and say,
No, we
is
want you
it?
to write to the physical fan club, PO Box 230, Coburg. This is the room. This is the private function headquarters. We send out all the merch and the records and stuff like that. Chaos.
Oh, I see it. All those cardboard boxes. You guys are ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I've had those for 2 years. I can't get rid of them. No one's buying this record.
So the album is available for pre-order April 23rd. I'm going
April
to
23rd.
have this out. It's
Cool.
going to ship when?
May 23rd. Or a couple of
May
days before. We'd like to have it at everyone's house on May 23rd. And so it gets released. That's in Australia. And then in America, it's getting released on Wall Ride Records. And I think that they are getting it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that'll come about the same time. And then in Europe, it's Folk Records. So everyone grab it from those places.
Okay, so can the Americans and the Europeans is the same kind of thing? Can they play the game, or is it going to be
Yeah.
the time
Yeah,
is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
go? Okay,
Yeah. It's more just to look at. It's just a really. It's really like there's a kind of like amazing intimacy with using the magnifying glass like on the cover. It's just really fun to like sit there and look at these really insane artworks that Bootleg Comics has made. And it's the front and the back as well. The back cover looks just as insane. It's ridiculous. This guy's crazy.
so nearly 3,000. Why two? Was it 2,900 and how many?
90. I think that's just the maps of like of how a 12-inch cover works. So with like, yeah. So it was sort of like that was the perfect. It's kind of the weirdest. It's the perfect size because it's like you can see every individual album cover by eye, but there's so much detail in a lot of them that the magnifying glass really like makes it pop. And it's great. It's really, really fun to look through this thing. I'm telling you, it's a really amazing little.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's constrained only by the grid. I mean, you didn't pick that and just shy of 3,000. Just mathematically came out that
So
way.
he did that. We tried some smaller ones, but it just kind of got to a point where it was just sort of too small for the artworks to really pop and come through, and like 'cause you'd lose a lot of definition, and plus printing at that level was becoming kind of difficult because we had to do a lot of tests of like what stock would work and what wouldn't because when you're getting that small, yeah. We did want it. Sorry. We did want to try. The original idea was we actually did want the world's first microscopic album cover, and we wanted to have it so you had to have a microscope. But it turns out the problem is you can't print to microscopic levels,
Okay,
which is so annoying.
so it's around the spine too. So you have to. There's some covers that are just on the spine as well?
No, there's none on the spine, just on the front and the back. Yeah.
Is it a gatefold?
No, I did want to. I was going to piss him off and ask him to do a gatefold, just have him go insane. But no, we stuck with just the front and back. Yeah, you're gonna love it. It looks really amazing.
Cool.
Oh,
okay.
I got a test print. If you want to see it.
Please.
Oh, dude, yeah. This was just one of the the test prints that we did. So I don't know how close up I can get there, but there's like that's the front album cover. So the actual name's like a mosaic, and that's the back as well. And it's just like, it's really hard to kind of see in the camera, but... Oh, hang on, wait, what if I try this? This is a crazy idea.
Is this gonna around a real record?
I put this over the lens of the camera. Is that working? You get the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea of it. It looks great. Yeah,
fantastic. So, are there multiple kind of colors and things coming out? Like, what is that?
No, it's just black and white. It's all just a black and white cover except for a photo on the back.
No, but I mean the records, any variants?
Oh yeah. So we have a spec because so we've got two colors. There's like a blue and a yellow one. They got funny names and stuff. But then for every record we do, we have like a special variant, which is we don't really tell anyone what it is until you buy it, and we'll ship it to you on the day. So like I don't know, hang on, I can show you like so from the last album. Well, we've got a lot to go over here, I think.
We do. You guys have a lot going on. So, okay, so let me just make this straight because people will probably be listening to this and want to go and order. So if they go straight to privatefunction.store, right?
That's it, yeah.
Then they will see a selection that says special variant.
Yep.
And
this one is called Goopy, and it's got a big question mark on it. So this one is
Okay.
goopy. So the last one said like gold, and that was the one we filled with piss. And the one before it was just called mystery bag, and that was the one we filled with bags of Coke.
Right.
So yeah,
Or assumed bags of Coke.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So this
okay.
new
I
one
don't
is
know.
another kind
Yeah,
of.
just go for it.
No,
Well,
it
that's.
seemed like you wanted to say something.
There's just so much to go through here, which is really funny. I'm trying to think of the best way to unpack all this
Okay.
nonsense.
All right. Let's go sequentially. Okay. So, all right. So you start off.
Yeah,
You're originally from Sydney, as I understand.
that's right.
Moved down to Melbourne. You joined a band, Mesa.
Mesa Costa.
Mesa Costa. Sorry.
Yeah, Mesa Costa. Yeah,
Were you on any of those releases with
yeah.
Mesa Costa?
Absolutely. I was on the last album. I played guitar on it. And we recorded another album 5 years ago, unreleased, which is funny. But the last album, LS Demons, that was actually mixed by Stu from King Gizzard,
Right.
which
Okay.
is really funny. It was just before King Gizzard kind of like exploded. And so we just went over to his place and like he mixed the whole album for us and did a great job. I love that record. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
And what gave you the urge to start Private Function?
I don't know. I just started recording a bunch of demo songs in my house on my own. And I think I showed one to Pablo one day. He's from, Mesa Costa. And I was like, hey, what do you think about this song? And he's like, I hate it. And I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. So I was like, I'll start my own fucking band. And so, yeah, I just took all those and started a band with them.
Okay. Was the name Private Function always in
No,
play?
it was me and my friend Joe who started the band originally. And I think we came up with the idea just drunkenly at the pub, which is how 80% of all of our ideas start. It's just at the tone, being pissed.
So it's a great place to have those ideas. So
Yeah, it's the greatest bar in the world.
now the name Private Function, I imagine that's been a blessing and a curse at
Mm,
times. Yeah.
absolutely.
What sort of, I guess, tits up events have there been because of the name?
The first time we went to Adelaide was pretty funny. We like got there, and, it's an 8-hour drive, and we get there, and then just no one came. And then like we had like so we just like drove there, and then we were like, oh fuck it, so we just made the show a free entry, and we told everyone in the bar to come in, and we played for like to like I don't know 20 people or whatever in this like big room, and we're like. The next day, we're driving back to Melbourne, and we're like, really hungover and coming down in the car, and we're feeling terrible. And then we like saw this like article come up from the ABC, which is like the Australian National News kind of company, and it was just like worst band names in the history of Australia. It was like private. It was just like I saw this terrible band last night, and no one came to their show because it was called Private Function. And I was like, oh fuck, defund the ABC, you son of a bitch.
So it just so happened there was a journalist there at the show.
Yeah, he was one of the 20 people. Which is really funny. Yeah.
So you guys do an initial cassette, 6 smoking songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
100 of those made, I think,
Yeah.
as I
Yeah, I think
understand.
that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What were your thoughts on that cassette? Was it just to kind of get new gigs? Was it something to put on the merch table? Something to fund the petrol on the way to the next gig?
Well, it was actually quite weird. That actually came out before we played any shows. Because, like I was saying, it was a bunch of like demo songs that I had, and then the rest of us got together and we just filled it out with just like I think there's 7 songs in that or something like that. So we just had that and we'd release it and we just kind of put it out. And then it wasn't until a little while later that we played our first show. Yeah, and that tape's gone. Yeah,
When you say put it out, how did you put it out?
just on cassette.
Yeah, but I mean, did you hand it around? Like, how did you get?
No, I
You
think
weren't playing gigs. Yeah.
I think we had a Bandcamp, so we just sold it over Bandcamp.
Okay.
Yeah, so if like anyone wanted to buy it, and I think they sold out straight away, which is pretty good. Because we made some videos, like we had video clips before we even played a show, which is kind of a funny way to do it now that I think back on it. It's yeah, I guess we already built hype for this band that has video clips and an album out and stuff, and you can't go see them live. Oh.
Now, I'm interested. Why were you What was stopping you guys from playing the live shows?
I just don't think that I don't know. I don't know what it was because it wasn't that long. It was maybe only a couple of months or something like that the thing was out before we played our first show. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure about that.
Lost to beer and time. So, as I understand, again, that cassette, 6 Smoking Songs, has been reissued a couple times.
Yeah.
Live on Bin Night.
Yeah, that one was really funny. So that was the next. Yeah, so we just released because basically the 6 Smoking Songs cassette was very sought after. I can't remember what the last price is on Discogs, but I think someone just bought one for like $300 or something like that, $400, which is crazy, And so it's very sought after tape that people want. So we released it again live on bin night where we just put it out, and then I just stood at the front of my house when it was bin night and recorded the bins and followed the trash guy down the street collecting all the rubbish, and then we just layered that on top of the album.
So it's the same album, but just with bin night sounds on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a bunch of breaking glass and like screeching brakes and stuff like that. It's great. It's really awesome. Listen. Yeah.
That's very inspired.
Yeah. We did also play a Christmas show once, and we re-released the Six Smoking Song cassette again, but it was like live at Carols by Candlelight, which is like a thing that happens in Australia every Christmas night. You know, it's on TV and everyone gets together and sings carols and stuff. So we just stripped the audio from like the 1997 Carols by Candlelight and then just put it on top of the album. So it's like it's like horrible listening experience of just like, yeah, like, you know, garage punk and then just Christmas carols.
And so there were 50 of those made, and as I understand, they were all autographed, but not by the band.
Oh yeah, I can't remember. Wait, who was it by?
John Farnham.
Oh, it was. Yeah, nice. That's funny.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that. Obviously, it wasn't John Farnham. Yeah. It was, yeah. Okay, and these sort of stunts, I mean, this sort of, some could call it obnoxious. I think it's hilarious, but it creates these real collectibles. So fans of the band are like, fuck, I want one of these. There's 50 in the world. It's kind of I guess, an approach of scarcity and collectability. I mean, are you a collector of anything? How do you understand this?
Records. Yeah,
okay.
I got a whole bunch in there. Yeah, I'm sick of them. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, so I'm always a big collector. I'm a huge collector. So I always collected like basketball cards and like then just like Batman. I just collected always like just trading cards, Pokemon cards. Collected like CDs. Had a huge CD collection before like 15 years ago, whenever I was 16 years ago, and I got into like records. So now I got a fucking massive vinyl collection now, and I'm always collecting all kinds of stupid stuff. Even this room is full of old like things that people have given us over the years from just private function days. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Do you have a prized possession when it comes to your vinyl?
Yeah, my one that I was searching for years is it's a 7-inch by this old Australian band from the late 70s called the Riptides. I have a song called like Sunset Strip. And that's really, really rare record. It was actually such a nice experience. I've been looking for it forever. It's just called like 77 Sunset Strip. And I went to Vicious Sloth Records out in Melbourne, like out in Hawthorne Way or something like that. And I had this really great like record collecting sort of moment where I was flicking through their Australian section and I was like, wow, this is a really, really great Australian section you've got here. This is some excellent records. And he was like, yeah, that's basically our bread and butter. We sell this to international people because we like just know all about Australian records. And he was like, is there an Australian record that you've ever been looking for? And I was like, yeah, I want the Riptides Sunset Strip 7-inch. And he goes over and talks to the other dude behind the counter and they like kind of whisper and he's like, yeah, we got it. And I was like, what? And he's saying, so what they do is they have this safe out the back and their safe is full of all these really rare Australian records and just records in general that they don't put on their website. So it's only if someone comes in and asks for that record, then they can kind of screen you and make a decision whether they'll sell it to you or not. Because they just don't want people just buying them and putting them straight onto Discogs. And I was like, that's a real true like record collecting little moment there. And they came out and it was in this package and I was like, oh, that's special. I've got goosebumps thinking about that.
Now, I'm not familiar with the record. Is it an expensive record?
Yeah. It's like maybe $1,000.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But they cut you a deal, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Vicious Sloth. Whenever I'm down in Melbourne, that's like one of my go-to places.
It's amazing. It's one of the very underrated.
What are some of your favorite record shops around Australia?
Like Rowdy's right now in Melbourne. Where do you live?
Sydney.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Cool. I mean, Utopia was the one that I grew up in when it used to be under the cinema there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rowdy's Records is my favorite in Melbourne right now. They've really just captured the feeling of being in a record store and being in a record store back in the day. There's lots of crap everywhere. There's books everywhere. There's like nice carpeting. There's things to look at and touch. It's just an overwhelming bombardment of like things.
Is Rowdy's, is it kind of new? I don't think I've been there.
Yeah, it's a couple of years. It's a couple of years old for sure. Yeah. Vicious Sloth's really good though. And yeah, there's heaps around. I always do I always go into Utopia when I'm back in Sydney and have a little chinwag with Ray and kind of, go in there and hang around. Yeah,
that's a great shop.
Yeah.
All right. So you are a bit of a record nerd, and you do kind of looking. What's something you're looking for? What's kind of a grail you're on the hunt for?
Well, that was mine for years. Was the Riptides one, and I got it. I only got it about a year ago, and then since then I kind of I've kind of slowed down. It was like I got it, you know,
Yeah.
and I was like, so I don't really know. There was a couple that I got that I've really gotten a lot of the ones that I wanted. I got a bunch of really rare Tism stuff that I wanted. Got the first King Gizzard album pressing, the 12 Bar Brews. Yeah, I got a bunch that I'm really happy with, like getting so far, but I don't really know. I don't know.
No,
I'll
okay.
think about that and get back to you.
All right. So before you guys put out album Saint Anger, there was a floppy disk release that you guys had.
Oh yeah, yeah. We released we did a cover of a Metallica song. We did a cover of the song "Frantic" off Saint Anger. It's kind of like Metallica's worst album, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And then we released it on an old school floppy disk. I don't know how many. I don't have one of those. I can't remember how many was released. We were releasing a lot of stuff at that time. I think at that time we released Private Function Breath Control, birth control. Wait, like piss tests? What do you call them? Nope. Like
Pregnancy test, kind of.
test. Yeah, piss test.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had piss
test.
tests. Yep, that's piss. Yeah, we had Private Function pregnancy tests released. We were just going for it in the early days. We were just putting out so much stupid shit, anything we could think of.
What's the dumbest thing you've ever put on the merch table?
One time, well, there was a while there was this, like, I guess they were a fake African gang called the Apex Gang, and it was news stories. This is like 5 or 6 years ago, something like that, where they were terrorizing people in Melbourne. But it's not a real gang. It's just kind of like some racist bullshit from, like, you know, the media, basically. And so we just put like this giant like box on our merch thing for ages, which was just like fundraiser for the Apex Gang, and then we're just getting people to make donations to the Apex Gang. So that was pretty fun.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
How much did you raise?
I don't remember. It was like $50. Well, then I was like, well, they're not real, so who the fuck are we gonna give the money to?
So you put this frantic disc on. It's like an MP3 on a floppy or whatever, right? Okay,
Yeah.
homemade. Then you, I guess, 2019 Saint Anger.
Yeah.
And this was out on Disdain Records. Now, how did you connect with Disdain?
Yeah, Saint Anger. Yeah, Ben. He's a good dude. He still looks after the record. He's just a guy around town. He was mates with Joe, and he'd seen us live a couple of times. And I think he had both the tapes, because we had 2 tapes released. And he was just like there at the right time. Was like, I want to put it out. And he's done a great job. He's really done a great job. It's out of print right now, because they sell out quite quickly whenever he represses them. But he makes sure they're always in record stores, and he does a great job.
Now, I've got a copy from Salty Dog. How does that kind of relationship work? With Salty Dog says I want to make 50 of a certain thing. How does that work?
No, so Salty Dog just does. They're a company that just do sort of like what do you call them? Like a weird variant. So they do like liquid discs and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the Salty Dog one, I think, is the liquid disc copy.
Yeah,
because he's the only person I know, at least in Melbourne, that does liquid discs.
Yeah, I think I've got a liquid, but there's also a clear one too.
Oh, there could be a clear one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's a lot. I don't deal with any of the variants from like. That's like Ben always does that. He's funny. He takes the piss with how many different variants he can release. There's so many of this album. It's ridiculous.
I know.
They even got it because this was because you know, if anyone's playing along at home, this is like Saint Anger, which is, you know, it's the name of that crappy Metallica album, which is basically, this is the cover kind of. Instead of a, you know, thumbs up, it's just a fist. Mm-hmm. We put this up on Spotify, and they were like, "Look, you either have to change the name or change the cover because it's too like similar to the Metallica one." And we're like, "Yeah, sweet." So then we just released like we just made the Black Album, and it's like instead of the so we just made like Metallica's Black Album instead of the snake. There's the thumbs up. So that's what's on Spotify today.
That's fantastic. So have you ever heard from Metallica or anyone close to the Metallica camp about that Saint Anger album?
Dude, I would love to.
Okay.
Yeah, great band history. No, if they came at me, I'd be like, man, I want to. I'd be like, I'll give you the rights to this album, but I was like, in return, I want a photo with you guys. I want to get a photo with Metallica, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that's the next album cover. That album cover rules. Just hanging out with Metallica, man. Yeah.
So on that Saint Anger, I also understand you guys even made 8 tracks.
Oh yeah, there was an 8-track released. Oh, fuck. I wonder if the whole album fit on there. I don't have one. Ben from Disdain did that. So, yeah, released on the classic 8-track. There might be 1 or 2 of those, or 3 ever made. And I'd love to know. There's 8 tracks?
Yeah.
That's very funny.
As I understand, they're marketed as such that it may or may not contain the album. So I imagine they're just 8 tracks that have been repurposed with that artwork.
Man, I can't. Look. I don't have one, but I do remember Ben once telling me that he got some machine that you can put the 8-track in to record onto it digitally. It was
Oh,
some obscure machine thing that he'd gotten online. I don't know if he did it or not, or if he ever got it. But I remember us having that chat at least. Yeah, I'd love to know.
well, I guess if anyone out there has one of these 8 tracks and an 8-track player, you could let us know.
Yeah. Please do.
Put in the comments below. Okay, the next release, Whose Line Is It Anyway? And that was with Damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now those guys are just down the block from you, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, they were just on Smith Street for ages. Yeah. They put out some excellent albums from the Coffin, These New South Wales, Void, all of the Clowns. Oh,
So, okay, Whose Line Is It Anyway on Damaged? Now you brought up earlier the mystery bag.
yeah. So what we did with this one, we just said a mystery bag, and so whoever bought them, we announced on the day what it was, and basically what it was. And this was Salty Dog who helped us do this. We put bags of like speed or coke into the pressing of the record. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I love it. I love the way this looks, man. I think this is such a good looking disc. Like it's yeah. There we go. So that's the mystery bag copy. It looks great. You can actually move the coke around there. Some of them have.
It looks so good. I'd be scared to put that in my suitcase and fly somewhere.
Well, we were never actually allowed to ship it to America, which is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually PJ's copy. He was used to be the guitarist in the band. He plays on this record. He plays in what, not American Shark, what Nightbirds. So he plays in the really great punk band from Jersey called Nightbirds, and he's just an excellent sort of like surf and punk guitar player. He's a fucking legend. He plays this band Ammo now. So he played guitar on this. This is his copy, but I've never been able to give it to him.
So 50 of those copies were made available.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason you have that is because PJ can't have his. If do you keep a copy of every single one of those variants, or a couple?
I have one. Yeah, we all have one. Milla, the bass player, I think she just got rid of hers. I think she traded hers, I think, for a car. Or a new engine or something like that.
They're not cheap online. They're not cheap online. They're like 1,000 plus online.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember she was like, "Can you do us a favor?" Like the guy would like give me. I think she got a new engine or something for like her Rodeo, like her Ute. And the guy was like, "Yeah, sweet, just give me a copy of the record. If you all sign it, you can have the fucking engine or whatever it was." And he put it in and stuff. So I was like, "That's cool." Yeah.
So there's also on the inside there's a copy. It looks like a picture of Drew Carey's Marines photo.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I guess what's the connection there? I know Whose Line Is It Anyway. He's the host of it.
Yeah. It's just such a sick photo. Like Drew Carey in the it's just Whose Line Is It Anyway? So you got like little Drew Carey action going on there. That's really fun though, man. I love this record. And this is like, if you don't know, the cover's it's a very Australian centric album cover.
I know nothing about it. It's just the Queen's neck to me, I think.
Yeah. So it's the $5 bill. So on the $5 bill, that's you can see the Queen's face there would be there. But there's an old schoolyard trick where like you could fold the bill in a certain way and put it up this way, and then it kind of looks like a killer whale sucking a dick. It's just like you see that, man?
I can see it now. So that's a trick that you guys would do on the schoolyard. Just fold a $5 bill and
make the Queen's neck look like a whale sucking a dick.
You had to use whatever you had before porn came on the internet.
We got this kind of philosophy with the band, which is that the PF universe is in 2001. So like everything that we do is being done in 2001.
So how many variants are there of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oof, I don't know. 10? How's that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that. You guys seem to make just very limited batches, which again just kind of pulls at the collector strings. Like, ooh, I need a clear one and a red one or whatever.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good way to make money.
Make the same people buy your record 5 times.
Yeah, there's all these rooms everywhere, bro. And there's one that I went out of my way to get, actually. I really wanted it because there was a European release of Whose Line Is It Anyway that was glow in the dark. And I was like, man, that's so cool. So I actually I had to hunt down my own record and got it like sent over here.
Nah.
Yeah.
So are you guys dealing with the same people in Europe as the new album all along?
Yeah, that's Folk Records. friends of Los Chicos. Los Chicos are a really fun Spanish band, and we love them so much. I love Spain so much. It's like one of the greatest countries on earth. We actually, it was quite funny. I didn't realize this. So on a like Whose Line Is It Anyway, one of the hits is called Albury Wodonga, and that's just two towns in Australia, Albury and Wodonga, and it's just about the two places. And the first show we played at the end of the show, these people came up and they're like, "Why didn't you play Albury Wodonga?" And we're like, "I don't know, it's just a song about Australian towns." And like, I'm not going to play it. Second show, same thing happened. This group came up and they're like, "Why didn't you play Albury Wodonga?" And I was like, "Wow, why do you want to hear Albury Wodonga?" And they're like, "Yeah, because that song has been on like high rotation on the national radio station of Spain, and no one told us." And they're like, "Yeah," they were like, "The only reason that people are here is because of that song." And we're like, "What?" Like, so that was some weird micro hit in Spain, this song about Albury Wodonga. Then we went to fucking Albury Wodonga once and played it, and the people in the crowd just told us to get fucked. They're like, "This sucks." It's like, what?
Play some Spanish songs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, play La Bamba. I actually found out this thing about La Bamba the other day. I always was such a dumbass white cunt. I always thought that it was la 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 Bamba. That was the lyrics, la 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 Bamba. But it's not. It's para bailar La Bamba. I think it's like Spanish for "Can you do the bamba?" Para bailar La Bamba. Did you know this?
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, we're dumb white people.
Mexican.
Yeah. We're dumb white people, man. Para bailar La Bamba. Yeah, that's what I thought it was as well. Yeah, man. Richie Valens. What a legend.
Oh, boy.
That song apparently is going to be one of the songs that'll be the first. I was thinking about this the other day. I run to the song. It's called like "The Day the Music Died," but it's going to be the date, whatever that was, in like 4 years from now, I think. Mm-hmm. So all of those songs are going to be royalty free in like 4 years. So like all of Buddy Holly's, the Richie Valens, Big Bopper, they're going to be the first like rock and roll pop songs to be royalty free. It's the day the music died.
Because it's so many years after the death of the artist.
Yeah, so they're the first ones because they're the kind of the first like big pop stars, and they happen to die really young. So I think it's 75 years or whatever it is afterwards, which is coming up.
All right.
And so so you'll start seeing those on, like toilet paper commercials and stuff.
You could start getting your covers album ready now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen. And then every year after that, there's more and more songs going to fall into the public domain. And then, it's the day the music died, baby.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, right.
So you guys also put out the first two tapes on a 12-inch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Marco Chan Records. What's Marco Chan Records?
That was our first record. Can I grab that real quickly? Give me one second.
Sure.
So Marco Chan Records was because we have a song on our first album called Marco Chan. It was one of the first songs we wrote. And we just needed like a record name to release it ourselves. So we just called it Marco Chan Records. Well, that's cool. I've got an unopened copy of this album. So this is it here. I thought this was really clever because it was basically our first two tapes. We just released them on cassette. We didn't have enough money to put them on like record or whatever. So when we did this, we just called it the first two tapes on a 12-inch. It's like Subway themed. So it's like, this is really funny. And the first pressing of this, it comes with a Subway job application form.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a copy of that, and I pull out, Subway application form. Now, as I understand, there's 10 copies that came with a letter of recommendation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we handwritten. I forgot about that, man. This is really funny. You're really taking me back here. Yeah, we wrote handwritten letters of recommendation for certain people so they could give it to their job at Subway. I can't remember what any of them said or who got one at all, but that's a funny idea.
So the first two tapes on a 12-inch, is that still available? Is that still in print?
No, that's not. We will reprint that one day because these some of my favorite songs are on these two cassettes. I love them a lot. So we will do it one day, but we got other stuff to do. We don't have enough money.
You got a lot of stuff going on now. A couple of years ago, you guys released Hello Asshole, or what's the numbers? You know,
it's 370HSSV0773H, and that is the album name. It is not Hello Asshole.
Okay.
We went to the I was very pissed off about it. I was just a brag here because the album cover actually got us to the ARIA Awards, which is the Grammys of Australia. Mm-hmm. And they called the album Hello Arsehole when they yelled it when they announced the nomination. And I was very pissed off about that because I really wanted them to say three.
So that's got to be kind of a mind spin. You guys getting nominated for an ARIA. I mean,
yeah.
you're very let's see, anti-populist.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
to be accepted into the Arias, that's got to be how was the reaction to that?
It was pretty funny. That was yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, it is. Because I always think that those award ceremonies are just so fucked, and I'm always like, that shouldn't be there. But that shouldn't be. These shouldn't be nominated. This is some clear glad handing bullshit happening here. You know how it is. But I was like, this one truly is, I think, a testament to the artwork, because we were nominated for album artwork, and I think that one was well deserved, and I think they made a good call.
So for those listeners who don't know what we're talking about here, this album, whatever the numbers are, it had scratchies. So it had the material on it, just like a lotto ticket where you could scratch and play. And there was a game there to match 3 pictures. And so people could buy the album, take a coin, scratch off the 3 panels, and see if they won.
Yeah.
So how do you put that together?
Do you want me to show you? I've got some leftover copies. I'll show you.
Sure.
So, so basically, check it out. So this is the album cover here. And so we had to go to, it was really hard to find someone who does the scratchy printing. So this is the scratchy, material. And we had to go, so the person we went to was actually the company that makes the scratchies. They make the scratches. And so it's that's their bread and butter for their printing company. But the guy happened to be a boutique printer. And he was I love this idea so much. So he was I want to do this whole process. You have to let me do the whole thing. And he went really above and beyond, working this whole thing out for us. But yeah, check it out. It's I'll bring it up closer.
Yeah.
You can actually scratch away the album cover. So it's totally manipulatable album cover. That's the thing about it. And so behind them, I don't have a pen. I mean, I don't have a coin on me or anything like that.
But there were, okay, so there's 3 panels. There were pictures. There's the big banana in Australia. Then there's the big koala.
Yeah.
Were there any other animals or any other options there? Just those 2?
No, it was just the first two panels, because I don't know if everyone we have this weird thing in Australia where we have lots of big things. So we like to build big things on the side of the highway. There's tourist traps, so much crap. So the first one is the big banana.
Yeah.
And then the second one is the big banana, and the third one is the big koala. But if you got the copy that had the 3 big bananas on it, you won. Yeah, you won a prize. And the prize was $2,999 in cash, plus a test pressing, plus your face on the actual album cover. So this is just the first pressing. So then the rest of it is your face as the winner. And a guy won a few months later after we released this. So I think 4 or 5 months later, someone found it in a record store. Now, do you want to see the actual cover?
What?
Yeah, you got something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is the guy that won the competition. And that's the actual album cover. And so
his prize was a bit of dough and to be on the new album cover.
Yeah. And so that's the actual album cover for the album Now Forever, which is really cool. It was really funny. The process of this was really full on. So basically, our manager at the time, Cara, she was like, "This is pretty weird because this is a gamble. This is gambling, and you're going to have these in record stores, massive, big Australian record stores." And so she went to every single state government and basically asked them what the gambling laws were in that state. Every state was as long as the prize is less than $3,000, you don't need a gambling permit. So that's why the prize was $2,999. But except for the state of South Australia, they were no, they've got really strict gambling laws there, and they're you can't do this at all. And they've they even said now that you've emailed us, we've got this in writing, and if you release this album there'll be I think it was a $40,000 or $50,000 fine for having released it. So I did this video where I was oh, sorry, the good people of South Australia, but we can't release our album there legally, so I don't know what you're going to do about it. And then there was already a discussion, I guess, in the media about the gambling regulations of that state. And so me doing this video kind of became this weird viral video where people are this is bullshit, why can't I watch fucking gambling ads on TV or whatever. And so then it went to this, like, it became this thing on the national radio of, like, South Australia, where people were, like, having these arguments about this album should be allowed to be sold in the state. And it went up so high that eventually the commissioner for gambling in South Australia had to go on the radio in the morning and be like, look, I think he said something like, I think that the only things that people get addicted to here is rock and roll, and so we're going to give them an exemption. So I've got it here. I've got a full exemption from the state of South Australia that says that Private Function is allowed to operate an illegal lottery in the state of South Australia. So we actually got permission from the government of South Australia to release this album.
Now let me ask you: Does that exemption specifically state that record?
Yeah, it says.
Okay. I was going to say, if they didn't specify it, boy, you could have some more fun with that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we did think about that, actually. We had a lot of plans for, how to do it. We were just going to drop off a bunch on the border of, Victoria and South Australia and just, have a party where people could come across to the, this side of the state and buy them from our border and bring them back. That's pretty, yeah. So, which would have been fun as well, I think. But yeah, this went really well, and I mean, so yeah, testament to the ARIA for nominating us for this, because it's great. It's such a good idea.
So let me ask you. So you made how many was the first pressing, by the way? Well, do you remember?
I think it was 3,000.
Okay, so you make 2,999 with the banana and koala.
Yeah,
and then you made the one that had the 3 bananas.
Yeah, so there's one copy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And now, so people are kind of looking for this needle in a haystack. In those 4 months no one claimed it, you guys got to be thinking shit, this,
Well, yeah, we didn't want to. No, it was sick. We didn't want to pay anyone. So I was like, I hope they never find it. That'll be work out for us, man. And but then it was pretty cool. So the guy, Mitch, he's the winner. He told us that he bought I think he bought a copy at one of our shows. And he scratched it and it didn't win. And then his birthday was a month later or whatever. And I think a friend of his didn't know that he didn't have the album or whatever and bought him a copy from a record store. And then they were at a pub and they were like, let's just scratch it for fun. And they scratched it and they won at the pub. And he was like, no way. And he's such a nice guy. Look at that. Couldn't have gone to a nicer guy. There's us hanging out with him on the back. And he's great, man. He works for just I think he works the RSPCA or something. He works in animal conservation and he put all of his money. He was just getting married. Put all his money for the bar tab of his wedding, which was just so nice.
Very appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that's not you guys have also had some very special pressings of that album filled with hops and filled with banned fluid.
Yeah, so this one here, so basically we this beer company reached out to us and they were like, we really want to do a special pressing of this album. And so we came up with this idea with them, which is to fill the record with all of the ingredients to make beer. So there's hops, barley and yeast or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so it's the actual, it's kind of an emergency smash if you need beer, then you can just brew it yourself, I guess. That was a really good idea. I really like that one. But the big one for that album, so just how on the Whose Line Is It Anyway, we said on the web store that it was called the mystery bag, and then everyone on release day found out that it was the bags of Coke, in the record. Mm-hmm. And so we did the same thing with this record where we called it the gold. It was just gold color. And buy a gold cover. And then on the day, we just announced that it was just filled with our piss. And so we got Salty Dog Records. God, really looks gross. This is really aged quite poorly. I haven't looked at this in 2 years. Basically what we did was we all pissed in these jars, right? Mm-hmm. And we took them to Salty Dog Records and Salty Dog Records, he's a genius sort of chemist or something or whatever. So he had to kill the piss. So he was doing all these tests where he's because we can't put piss straight up into the record because there's living organisms within the piss and they will die and they'll expand and the record will break open. So it became this whole science where he had to sort of mix in all these chemicals to dilute the piss to kill it. And then I think that he ended up having to dilute it so much that it was I think it ended up having to be we had to put food coloring back into it because it was so dead and colorless and so I think that's kind of the vibe. But yeah, I was really happy. I do feel bad for the guy, and if I had another copy, I'd give it to him. But we got one about a day later that it had burst in the mail, and so record just came, and it was just the whole package was just covered in piss, which is I
Mailman
love.
must have loved that.
Yeah.
Far out. And
Yeah.
now, were those in the hand-drawn covers?
No, the hand drawn covers were the beer one. So
Okay.
someone did an artwork of that. No, these were the first pressing for just the original one. I was just doodling as we've been talking on the scratchy bit. It's very fun.
So there's 50 of the piss ones, 50 of the hops ones.
Yep.
There was 50 of the bags.
Yep.
So with the new album, the Shrug album, there's
Yep.
going to be 50 special ones there.
I think there's actually 100 of these new ones.
Okay.
So we went for a little bigger this time, which is kind of fun. I think it was 100. So that'll be there. That idea is yeah. I won't say what it is. It's strange. I'm gonna have to sell it to people. I think it was Lauren's idea, and we were really pissed in the pub, and she said it, and I was like, "That's an extremely funny idea, Lauren. We got to do it."
So this will all be revealed about a month from now when people start receiving them.
Yeah, I reckon we'll announce what it is before day. It's a kind of complicated idea. We'll really have to explain what this one is. I think it's not just like peace.
Now with the microscopic album, now are you guys doing CDs to where it's even smaller?
No, that's a really good idea. I wonder if we could do that. I haven't even thought about that. No, just on record for these ones. We've actually never released a CD. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cassettes and vinyl. That's it.
Yeah, totally. But no, it's just gonna be on record for this one. So I'm really looking forward to it. I really can't wait till everyone sees this because it truly is fun. It truly, truly is fun looking at the album artwork through this little magnifying glass.
I'm really looking forward to that. I love the fact that you guys do these stunts and you're being very creative, and it makes record nerds like us just, I need to see this for myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of sort of like I like it's funny because a lot of people like call this like marketing. I guess people say that it's like a marketing stunt or whatever, but I don't see it that way at all. Like to me, like this is art. Like it's like we're making art here. It's like we're not doing it to sell copies or anything like that. It's just it's happy that it does happen. But like this is no different to like I don't know, like having a zipper on your fucking album cover, or having a like a banana sticker or whatever.
Yeah, well, you're pushing the boundaries. You're seeing what else can be done with it. You're not just, you're being very creative with it. I totally agree with it. And and the fact that it's funny too is adds to it.
Well, I mean, I don't really know how to make art that isn't that's unique, and it has to be funny. The only thing that I can make that's unique has to be funny. I can't think of a serious idea that's unique anymore. I think that everything serious has been like. It's done. I got nothing. So it's like my ideas only go straight because that's the only way that you can make a unique thing. And it's maybe even like, like it's like what was that stupid album cover by is it Neil Diamond where it has the numbers and you can draw his face. It's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Was that idea silly when it came out? Because it seems pretty normal now. Maybe people just see this as a normal idea in 40 years and not a silly idea.
People thought Sgt. Pepper was unique because it didn't have the branding of the Beatles and all the different things on it, And then the White Album that everything was stamped. It's,
Yeah.
But I think the purpose of art is to provoke a reaction in others. And in this case, you're making us laugh. And that's all good as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah,
very,
absolutely.
very cool. Glad you guys are doing it. So what's next? So you guys have this album coming out.
Yep.
You got some shows coming up, Australia, beyond. What's the plan for the
so we're gonna go
2025?
I just got my American visa. Fuck yeah, boys. So I was banned from America for 6 years. I had too much of a good time in America, and then so I had to get a immigration lawyer, and I finally got my visa. So I think at the end of this year or next year, we're going to go to America for the first time, which would be good. Can't wait to go back. But we're going to go on this June on an Australian tour, and then July we're going to go on a full European tour, and then back to Europe in October, and then maybe to the States. So it's a big year.
So States towards the second half of the year sometime.
I hope so, yeah. I really hope so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Hey, real quick. So, man, I'm really looking forward to this new one. What do we call the album in the meantime? Just the Shrug album, the emoji? What do we ask?
I think we should call it the Shrugging Cunt.
God. Yeah, I think that's already taken by Barbara Streisand. You need another name.
Nice.
Okay, the Shrugging Cunt album. It is available to order now. Get it quick because these limited pressings do go very fast, and I'm very interested / concerned about what's going to arrive in my mail in about 30 days. Private Function store. Grab it now. Chris, thank you so much, mate, and we'll see you
Thanks,
when
Dave.
you're up north sometime.